Hello everybody, my name is Bill. Welcome back to yet another episode of the NCAA Football 2007 Dynasty Mode series. We are continuing the off-season evaluations of every single team, and we are now on the west side of the MAC. Considering last time we were here, we did the east side of the MAC, so only fair we complete the MAC. And we will start off with number 10, Northern Illinois, who went 13-1. Their best win, in my opinion, came in Week 1 against Alabama, which was a shocker right there. They won 20-13, and their only loss came in the MAC championship against Bowling Green, 24-21. They have great rushing offense, they're great at scoring, got great defense, good on third downs, and great at getting interceptions. Their improvements, though, they just need to improve their passing offense and their red zone scoring. My thoughts for them is I really enjoyed covering the Huskies this year. Tony Romo led this team to an amazing 13-1 record that included knocking off an SEC team in Alabama. Like Alabama. Granted, it's not current day Alabama, but still Alabama. With an offense that averaged 411.8 yards per game, 214.2 yards per game on the ground, averaging 33.8 points per game, having the second best defense in the nation, not in the conference, in the nation, allowing 205.6 yards per game, 13 points per game, only 13. Like if I just let the simulations happen, they probably would have had the best defense in the nation if it wasn't for me, grabbing 22 interceptions and converting nearly half of their third downs at 49%. I really wish they finished undefeated with me, though. They need to pass the ball better, though, with 197.5 yards per game. That isn't that good, but having a different approach can be a good thing with their rushing attack that they got. They also need to score in the red zone, because I'm thinking a lot of their points came off of big plays. They finished second to last in the conference in this category, finishing with a 72% scoring percentage, only besting Ohio in that category. I hope they can continue this momentum into the next season and win the MAC championship next year. As you see, they finished the year ranked 10, and depending on how recruiting goes and who all is willing to go into the MAC conference with Northern Illinois, hopefully they can continue this momentum, and hopefully they can win the conference championship next year. And now we go to one of three teams here that are in Michigan. As you can see, we got Western, Central, and Eastern. Well, let's start off with Western. They finished 9-4, with their best win, in my opinion, coming in Week 8 at Miami of Ohio, 58-14. And the worst loss, I'd say, was their first one at Akron, 38-24. Now, they lost to Northern Illinois as well. Well, I remember that being a key game. No, we're not ready to go into the offseason yet. Yeah, here, they lost that one 27-20, but that was a good game in Kalamazoo. Dude, that first loss to Akron, though, that kind of shook things up for them, because I don't think anybody expected them to lose to Akron, though. They got a great offense, a great defense, and forcing turnovers. I'd say their only improvement, though, is to lessen their turnovers. Broncos are one of the best teams in this conference, having 449 yards per game on offense, scoring 37.2 points per game, and having 311.8 passing yards per game made them the deadliest offense in the MAC. They also had the second best defense, allowing 334.3 yards per game, 193 of those yards in the air, and allowing 23.4 points per game, along with forcing 34 turnovers, the most in the MAC. For comparison, Northern Illinois only had 31 turnovers. Always, by the way, if you're Now I'm wondering what those the stars for their programs are. This program are they are a 4-star program and 4-star academic. Just so you know, in case you can't see those stars light up that well. The only improvement I see is that they need to lessen their turnovers. They ended with 26 giveaways, which isn't all that good. Again, for comparison's sake, Northern Illinois only turned the ball over 22 times, which also isn't good, but that they finished with the best turnover conversion and best turnover differential in the conference. Although seeing how the best turnover differential is 9, second one's 8, isn't really saying all that much. Excuse me. If they lessened that, the Northern Illinois game would have been different. Control that, and they might win the MAC championship, in my opinion, next year. You know, some of these teams in like these smaller conferences, like the MAC, the Mountain West, the Sun Belt, Conference USA, even though they have a championship game, like I enjoy seeing their progress being good because that way it's like hey, you see this has other great teams other than just Alabama, Florida State, LSU, Notre Dame, USC, or you just throw a great creative team in there, and I've done that with 3. One of them I control, So yeah. Now we go from, although I digress, we go from now Western Michigan to Central Michigan. Again, they finished 5-7. Their best win came in Week 12 against Ball State, 43-10, and their worst loss came the very next week to Eastern Michigan, 24-21. They got a great rushing offense, they're good at scoring, and they've got a great rushing defense. They just need to improve on passing the ball, stopping the pass, and getting to the quarterback. Because I forgot to throw this in the script stat-wise, but they won my stats, and I zoomed right past them because they finished, I passed them again, with 15 sacks, which is the worst in the MAC and tied for 113th in the entire nation, so there's that. Wrong direction, there we go. So yeah. Head coach Greg Brown helped the Chippewas to nearly 500 at a 5-7 record. And they did it by pounding the ball and stopping the run. They allowed 117.3 yards per game, compared to them having 173.9 yards per game themselves. They also averaged 28.9 points per game. They need to do better on both sides, though, for the passing game. They had 196.2 yards per game, while allowing 287 yards per game. If they can fix that and also get to the quarterback, which will help the passing yard situation. Although you see they are a 1-star school program-wise, so seeing these 1-star schools finishing 5-7 is actually pretty good, especially seeing how they've finished 500 in the conference. It's really good. If they can just fix that, then they can be in a bowl game, unlike someone else who didn't deserve it. And that team is Ball State. They went 4-9. Their best win came in Week 4 against Miami of Ohio, 48-21. And their worst loss, in my opinion, came in that bowl game they did not deserve to be in, the Hawaii Bowl against New Mexico State, 34-10. They're great on third down and scoring in the red zone, though. But they just need to improve on their passing offense and also their defense. I don't know how Ball State got a bowl game, but they deserve to lose it. Granted, they tied with Northern Illinois in third down efficiency and scored 80% of the time they made it inside the opponent's 20, but their defense is the second worst in the MAC, allowing 406.6 yards per game. A defense like that should not be in a bowl game, in my opinion. You know, I mean, yeah, sure, if you put Central Michigan in place of Ball State, probably would have been the same result. Well, maybe even worse, but at least Central Michigan, I think, would have deserved the spot. You know, they went to the game with a 4-8 record, just like Boston College did last year. Here, if they do better the next year, then they'll prove me wrong that they did deserve to be in there. If not, then Harry Balls should go ahead and leave, and yes, I named their head coach Harry Balls. Because how can you be 4-8 and have a bowl game? Granted, they won 4 games conference-wise. 3-star program, yes. But I don't think they really deserved that bowl game, in my opinion. And I already found enough when they were in the bowl game as is. And see, they allowed 113 points more than they scored. So, yeah, I don't see how they got the bowl game. Maybe it's because of their star program. So, I mean, I don't know how the game does it, but I say they didn't deserve that bowl game in my opinion. Because there were several teams that had better records than them that should have been in that bowl game. But I digress. Let's go away from Ball State to Eastern Michigan, who finished 3-9, with their best win coming Week 13 against Central Michigan, 24-41. And their worst loss, in my opinion, came in Week 7 against number 10 Northern Illinois, only 53-7. I say they're great. They got a young roster. They just need to improve on offense and defense a bit. The people in Ypsilanti are a little disappointed in how their Eagles did. They had the worst offense in the MAC at 304.9 yards per game, which doesn't help their case. Scott Truesdale has a young roster, which should inspire hope in them. With 31 members becoming sophomores next year, they should improve some. And again, allowing nearly 400 points to your opposition while you score only 250, that's not good, but they're on the up though. They're on the up. I'll give them credit. They're trying their best. Though, although at a 2-star school, trying to get recruits isn't that easy, you know? At least like some 3 or 4-star guys. Well, a lot of 3 and 4-star guys. You might get lucky getting a 3 or 4-star there, but you're mostly getting 1 or 2 stars. And if you get a 5-star guy, you gotta question how in the world did he get there. But like you see, a lot of these teams though, like, they're not really all that bad in a way. It's just that they, like, these teams down here, they just need some improvement. Same with Ohio. Like, Ohio did really good last year, and they suffered this year. Here, San Diego State, they did pretty well. Utah, they did well last year, didn't do so well this year. A lot of these schools here, you're like, they do good at times. It's just that depends on how the recruits come in and if they're lucky to get some of them. But enough with recruiting. I was thinking of doing the recruiting thing, but now I'm second guessing it because of how long it's taking me just to do this part of the series. I'm gonna just nix the idea of the creating stories for the incoming recruits. Although I might use a couple of them in storylines for week 1 or for like maybe postseason evaluation, maybe. I don't know if I want to do a preseason evaluation. I'm doing a postseason evaluation here. So, but anyway, let's go from Eastern Michigan, the last of the Michigan teams in the MAC, to Toledo, who finished the same record but with one less win in conference play. I say Toledo's record was also 3-9. Their best win came also in Week 1 against Air Force, 35-30. And their worst loss, in my opinion, came in Week 7 against Ball State, 49-21. They have a good passing offense and they are very disciplined. They just need to improve on running and defense. The Rockets did well in 3 categories: passing offense, penalties, and penalty yards. They finished second in the conference in passing yards with 252.4 yards per game, had the second least amount of penalties with 73, and third in penalty yards with 584. Their best receiver, Lance Thomas, finished with 70 catches for 985 yards and 10 touchdowns for a comparison per yards. And penalties per catch, touchdowns are irrelevant in this. They need defense though, as allowing 433 yards per game won't win you too many games. Well, 3.5 yards per game won't win you many games. If they improve that, I could see them in a bowl game. If not, then Gordon Bell might get launched from a rocket. But that's it for the MAC. Next will be the Mountain West, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conferences to go, and in total 6 more videos. I just need to get 19 plus 12, that's 19 plus 12, that's 30. Yeah, 19 plus 12, 31. Sunbelt has 8, so that's 39. Then the WAC. So we have 48 more teams to go to finish off this offseason evaluation. And then I will get to my recruiting and then finish off the series for year 3 and begin year 4. Until then, I will see you all next time.